Humanoid robots will soon expand beyond the manufacturing sector, where they will perform tasks beyond the capabilities of traditional industry robots.
Welcome to the Library of Awakening, hosted by CyberX, a space where curiosity meets courage and ideas come alive. Here we explore the thoughts that challenge, inspire, and sometimes even unsettle us, because growth often begins with discomfort. So, welcome to the journey. May this space inspire you to ask questions, explore the unknown, and most importantly, to awaken. This is the Library of Awakening.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Library of Awakening. In today's episode, we are going to be diving into a couple of different things, very interesting to say the least, that I want to share with you guys. I want to tap into the books only section in the Discord. We're going to open up the falsification of history. I want to read a very interesting chapter to you guys out of this one by John Hamer or Hammer. Um, Super great information scratching the surface on the origins of humanity. But before we dive into that one, I want to cover a very interesting document shared in the private CyberX research section, where if we scroll down to the thorough research channels in the regulation channel, one of our head researchers, Break Free from the Matrix, shared a document, is always sharing documents, but shared a document that specifically talks about robotics and humanoid robots. Where it's at escaped me, but nonetheless, I have it pulled up here. We're going to read it for you guys today. And this episode is going to be a two-part series. So we're going to dive thoroughly through this document here. This is that humanoid robotics document that gives a detailistic perspective as to the timeline when these humanoid robots can be projected to walk among us. They're already walking among us now, but mass populations or huge swaths of these robots coming into the workforce, this is going to give a very realistic time frame on those dates, and it's going to coexist with a document or fundamental piece that was written just a couple of days ago on December 4th, titled Trump's Next National Strategy and How It Will Center on Humanoid Robots. So sit back, relax. Don't forget to head over to cyberxtrading.com if you guys want to tap into any of the research that we have here, non-mainstream, non-biased, non-opinionated research. One of the biggest collections of books that the internet has ever seen inside the private CyberX community. Here, we have realized early on that real power does not come from markets alone. It comes from understanding yourself, your patterns, your conditioning, your cycles, and the hidden forces that shape human behavior. That is what we stand for here at Library of Awakening. So make sure that you guys are following us over on YouTube. Make sure that you guys are giving us a follow over on X, as we post a lot of the books that we have in the private CyberX community over on Twitter for you guys to take a look at. But if you guys want to access all of these books yourselves, you guys can always lock in, try it out for a month. There's so much valuable information in our private community for you guys to tap into. So starting with the humanoid robots, before we get into the falsification of history, this article definitely piqued my interest because of the document that I shared with you guys today. And so many people would think that this is some grand conspiracy or that it's never going to happen. I remember growing up watching a movie called I, Robot. I don't know if you guys remember that movie. Great movie. And it, in my personal opinion, is exactly, or at least to some extent, it's obviously, of course, not going to be verbatim what's going to happen in the future, but it is a future that we are 110% headed towards. This reads from December 4th, 2025. President Trump's national industrial strategy centers on expanding U.S. dominance in semiconductors, AI, rare earth production, clean technology, space, and other emerging technologies, expecting to dominate the global economy in the 2030s. Following the administration's push to accelerate AI data center buildouts and power grid upgrades, Politico now reports that the next major focus is poised to be humanoid robotics. So I'll pause right there. No need to dive into this article more thoroughly, but you guys can see here. right? Now, as sci-fi as that looks, that is 110% going to become a reality in the very near future. So check this out. This is a document titled Humanoid Robotics 2025 from the DigiTimes. So scrolling down here in the report and getting started, it goes on to say the global demand for robots is increasing due to various factors such as labor shortages, rising costs, advancements in Industry 4.0, and the integration of AI tech. The state of the robot market varies across different regions. According to the DigiTimes, humanoid robots will evolve gradually, progressing through humanoid zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.5 versions and then up to humanoid 1.0 versions. The humanoid zero point 0.5 versions is tailored for a specific environment and basic movements, utilizing modular mobility and object handling frameworks to minimize cost and simplify the initial deployment of humanoid applications. In contrast, the humanoid 1.0 version will exhibit a human like design, incorporating bipedal mobility and dual arms with sophisticated hands, enabling the execution of more intricate tasks. I got to pause right there. Never in my life did I think, like back when I was a young teenager watching AI or watching iRobot, think that in the future, right, 2025, I'd be sitting here reading a document on this stuff and how it's all materializing and coming into fruition. How crazy that is. I just had that thought. Moving on, it says, according to DigiTimes, the global market, this is where it gets juicy. The global market for robots is projected to reach 8.8 billion. Overall, humanoid robots are expected to comprise around 0.2% of the market share between 2026 and 2030. There are your dates right there. The market is anticipated to undergo two major growth phases. The first significant expansion is set for 2026, that's next year, driven by humanoid versions zero point 0.5. This version is expected to capitalize on well established ecosystems that include robotic arms and wheeled mobility systems. It will be able to efficiently deliver customized solutions based on individual user requirements, with production costs nearing an optimal point. The development is predicted to substantially increase the demand for humanoid robots in specific sectors, enhancing their market share from 0.2 to 0.8%, marking an increase of approximately zero point 0.6 percentage points. A second growth wave is anticipated in 2028. There's another important date, with humanoid 1.0 versions significantly propelling market expansion. This growth will be spurred by economies of scale and hardware cost and sophistication of AI model applications. The humanoid robot market share is expected to increase by approximately zero point 0.5 percentage points, reaching 1.5%. By 2030, the global market or global robot market is projected to reach 20.6 billion, with humanoid robots making up around 2% of the market. These growth waves illustrate how advancements in tech and cost reductions are driving market expansion. Humanoid robots are in the nascent phase of their development. However, over the next 3 to 10 years, advancements in mobility, intelligence, and safety features are expected to facilitate their entry into diverse fields supporting humans and ultimately improving quality of life. Oh man, I don't know how good that's going to age, but I'm not here to speculate. I'm just going to go outright and say there's definitely going to be some type of catalyst that a lot of people are going to need to pay very close attention to in the near future because of AI and robots. That's my personal opinion. We'll check back on that in the next couple of years. Manufacturing environments are generally enclosed and characterized by predictable, standardized procedures, minimizing unexpected situations. On the other hand, service environments present a diverse range of conditions with unpredictable processes that resist standardization. The household domain adds an additional layer of complexity, featuring high variable conditions unique to each household. This complexity demands advanced autonomous planning and exceptional hand dexterity to effectively manage high customized tasks, even in chaotic settings. Humanoid robots, this is where it gets interesting. Humanoid robots will soon expand beyond the manufacturing sector, where they will perform tasks beyond the capabilities of traditional industry robots. They will also revolutionize the service and household sectors by assisting with a range of daily chores, ultimately enhancing the quality of life. Humanoid robots' use and growth in the short term, medium to long term, in terms of years, 3 to 5 years, in the manufacturing industry, Midterm, 5 to 10 years in the services industry, long term, 10 years plus in your household. Generally speaking, the momentum of the global robotics industry mainly comes from demands for production line manufacturing, transportation, and even visual recognition required by factories. Generally speaking, the momentum of the global robotics industry mainly comes from demands for production line manufacturing, transportation, and even visual recognition required by factories. This helps reduce the physical and psychological workload of factory personnel, thereby minimizing unnecessary human errors and improving operational efficiency. This is just, it's so crazy that this is all happening. This document is literally telling you that these robots are here and they're going to replace jobs, right? However, compared to a single task requirement of industrial multi axis robotic arms, humanoid robots face diverse and complex service scenarios. Furthermore, given that humanoid robots are still in early stages of development, there are no specific content and current industry regulations to guide how to ensure user safety in human robot interaction scenarios. Guarantee you that in the future, these robots are going to have their own rights, they're going to have their own rules, they're going to have pretty much the same, rights and laws and whatnot and restrictions and regulations and all that stuff that we as humans have to follow, right? It's going to be similar. Last but not least, just here is your kind of like visual of everything that this is talking about down here. And so it's talking about the development from 2025 to 2030. And it's talking about how after 2029, that is when you're going to see a huge rollout of these humanoid looking robots. And we're already starting to see those developments unfold in real time today. I'm sure that most of you guys have seen Elon Musk's Tesla robot, right? Um, there's so many videos that are surfacing on YouTube and Twitter about these things, and it's just so crazy how many people still think that this is all a conspiracy theory and that it's not going to happen anytime soon. But if you read the documents from some of these organizations that cover these topics, you can see the timelines and you can see that this is a very real phenomenon. So that is it for this DigiTimes document. I just thought that, that was very interesting and a really great read that was shared by one of the CyberX researchers that coexisted with this fundamental piece here that came out just the other day on December 4th. Now, I'm not here to fear mongrel anybody. I'm not here to say that AI is going to replace all jobs, and it is definitely going to create a substantial amount of jobs, but make sure that you guys are really working on self improvement. Make sure that you guys are working on obtaining a digital skill. Make sure that if you work a job that can be replaced by a humanoid robot, not sitting here saying that it's going to happen, but there's a very high probability that a large portion of the workforce is going to be replaced by humanoid robots over the coming years. So just make sure that you all are starting now with your 5 year plan, if you haven't already, to kind of evolve with this, to prepare yourself for the possibility of this taking place, making sure that you're honing in on skills that you can utilize to generate income outside of the job that you are working now. Whether that's trading, utilizing DeFi, evolving with the Industry 4.0 to figure out how to generate income through a mobile device, a laptop, and an internet connection. Because a lot of the physical labor that humans do today, a lot of the jobs that we do today are going to get replaced by AI and robots. As conspiracy as that sounds, guarantee you in the next 5 years, this video will age very well. And a lot of people will look back and say, wow, where did 5 years go? I should have been paying attention. And, you know, at the end of the day, teach his own. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video breakdown. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. We are trying to grow the Library of Awakening's YouTube and Twitter profile. So greatly appreciate if you guys enjoy these videos. Do us that favor. It does go a very long way. It helps boost the algorithm and push these videos out to more like-minded individuals like yourselves. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next episode of Library of Awakening.
I know some of the perspectives that I share may be as challenging for you as they once were for me. But isn't that the beauty of exploration? Every perspective, no matter how unconventional, has something valuable to contribute to it if it's shared. Knowledge is not absolute, it's a living, breathing phenomena, shaped and reshaped over time. The important thing is not always be right, but to always be curious. Explore freely, share boldly, and learn deeply. And don't rely solely on others to validate your discoveries. Stand firm in integrity, even in the face of criticism. Remember that growth always means embracing the humility to admit when we're wrong. Learning from our errors is not a setback, it's the very essence of our progress. So, welcome to the journey. May this space inspire you to ask questions, explore the unknown, and most importantly, to awaken. This is the Library of Awakening,